Am I dreaming? Are you dreaming? Do you know the difference between dreaming and reality? Do you think the room you are in, the TV set you are watching, even the body you call yours, or even the air you are breathing, is it real? Well, maybe you haven't asked what makes this world real. Join us and see if you can find out what is the real deal. This is Who Am I?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I? Who?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
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 Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute and truth. That's our purpose.
Who am I?
All right. Okay. I know I'm late. Y'all gonna give me an F?
No.
All right, okay. But anyway, we are here today, and I just want to make, kind of put a background to this, because some people think that, we're trying to make a position here. Like we are right. We have the right, way for you to think and for you to be, or that we are against anybody's religion. All right. Now, I've said before, and I know all of you here, some of you are, like you are a minister and so forth, Joan, you're a member of your church's administrative board, So we all have different perspectives, and that's okay. We're not here to exclude anybody, and we're not here to convert anybody or trying to get you to join something. I don't have anything for you to join, all right? What we are here for is to ask questions, and questions that you may not have asked before. That's all we're here for. So if you are offended by what we are doing, then maybe you need to look at yourself about that, okay? Because we're not saying that you are wrong, because that's what the human mind loves, to say somebody is wrong and somebody is right. And of course, I'd rather be right, and I'd rather for you to be wrong, okay? Yeah, that makes it easy for me, okay? But we're not into the right or wrong business, because that's just simply, as I said, with the human mind. And we're here to get beneath the human mind. And what we're here today to discuss is this real, what's real, and am I real? This self that I call me, all right? It seems like I am real. Now, we just had a workshop on Saturday where we had an astrophysicist and a minister and myself. And, the astrophysicist was saying, in some of the theories of physics, they have what they call alternate realities, right, Ball? Parallel universes. Physicists are even going in that, like, how we know what's real? Are you getting to quantum? How do you know it's real just because you think it's there or you can perceive it? So that's what we want to know. How do you know something is real? And if something is real, then it must be true. Yeah, Gloria.
In your Kickstarter, your opening, you said, what makes this world real?
Uh-huh.
This world cannot be made real.
Why you say that? A lot of people go, behind that.
Because real, I would equate real with God, the identity of God, and God being all, God being now, God being is, all the things that we have identified as infinite or synonyms for God, not the concept God, but the realness, the reality of what is infinite.
Yeah, see, that's where you have to be very, very careful, because most people think they know what God is. You were taught, you were raised, I think, in sort of a rather traditional, more fundamental religion, Christian religion.
So.
Joan and I were raised in a Methodist church, okay, and then I became a Baptist. So Christians will have their concept, and then you can subdivide Christians into, I think there are 22,000 different forms of Christianity. Okay, so you can something they will want to agree on what God is. All right, and then you go to the Muslims. I go to the Jewish, to Buddhists or whatever. Okay, the major world religions, and they will come up with what they call God, and they will say, "My God is real." Okay, how do you know? I know the Lord is real. Well, how do you know that? And that's what you're saying. So you have to have your premise to be true. So you always have to ask, what is my premise? If you say you're a Christian, you probably might say your premise is the Bible. But how do you know the Bible is true? Okay, just like a Muslim would say, the Quran is true. Now, how does he know that? Those are beliefs. All right, that's faith. And that's okay, like we were just saying. It's okay to have a faith or a belief system. But do you know it to be absolutely true? And this is what you're saying, Gloria. What you're saying that is absolutely true is that all is. All, John.
So then if all is, then if you're talking about reality, then reality has to be the now.
Yes. Now, all is. That's absolute. Okay? All can be any other place in now. Okay? Now and all and is actually are the same.
And now is not about time.
Now excludes
transcends
time. Yeah, it's not like now is a long time. Okay? And now is not the present. It's, the present is in between the past and the future. That's how the mind, creates the present. So it's sandwiched in between, like yesterday was, Sunday and tomorrow will be Tuesday. And we said Monday is the present. But that now means that there's something else other than now. Okay? Ball, you had your hand up.
But when we talk about reality, well, first we got to decide how we're going to discuss this today.
Okay.
Is this going to be human still doing this, or are we going to talk about another kind of reality, another kind of now, or I can't call it religion. What are we going to? How are we going to define this?
Define what? Reality?
Yeah.
Reality is that which is, Webster defines it, that which conforms to actuality or to fact. Okay? What do you know that is factual, actual, truthful?
I am.
Yes.
Or human. I human am.
Well, you had.
Suspect.
Okay, let's see if that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So you make an I equivalent with a human.
Yeah.
Well, now what's what's a human?
A human has inputs. What do we call it? They have senses, and the senses feed into the brain, and that creates from birth or before birth even, a set of realities or sounds that build into forming who I am.
Yeah, that's a good question, Archibald. Okay, because see, when we ask it, it's really this question.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
What's the basis of the human identity?
Right.
And see, all humans have to be finite, limited. Okay? All humans are a finite piece, all humans are like bodies, a finite piece of matter in time and space. All right? And therefore, they're limited, and all humans lack something. All right? Like if you didn't have air right now, a human would die. We just got through eating, and a human says, I have to eat every so often. Sleep, okay? That's what a human is, all right? So that's why we have these two questions. Can a human and the infinite, as Gloria was saying, the infinite coexist?
No.
Okay? See, this is why we really have to get to this question of basis. Everything has to have a basis, a foundation. And a human says, I am the reference point. That's why when Einstein had his theory of relativity, he says everything is relative. Relative to what, Einstein? To a human called Einstein, or me. All right, this I that you're talking about. That's why you have to ask, is I a human? Or is I the I am that I am? In other words, the infinite presence, the all omnipresent one. Now, if that is your premise, that there's only infinity, where is there room for a human?
Let me see. when we begin to talk about reality, my thinking is, we're going to have to choose one or the other.
Yes.
Right.
They can't coexist.
In order to carry on this conversation.
Yes.
It's got to be defined as which one we're talking about.
Yeah, hallelujah. That's a very, very important point. And this is where most people don't go. Most people all religions, okay, I don't care whether it's Christian or whatever, are all theologies, psychology, biology, sociology, all are based on this premise that there is a human. It's the premise. It's the reference point. Like, for instance, a religion would say, you shall worship, you the human, should worship a God. Or you should, praise a God. Or you will go and join God. Or be separated from God. Okay? That's what all humans. But
Says you have to believe.
yes, and that's psychology. That's thinking. All right? And so all religions are essentially belief systems. Faith systems, all right? But we want to go beyond beliefs. And that's why some people find this program offensive, because we're saying challenge your beliefs, all right? And to see if they are absolutely true. I am that I am. Leonard.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate this show, because it's controversial, first of all, because it's asking that question, who am I? This self-inquiry doesn't mean you have to look outside to find the information that you really want, which is the truth. But society wants us to look, and in a way, inquiry means, if you look up the dictionary, the definition of inquiry means to look for information. It's when you look for information, where are we going to go? Usually we're going to go outside of ourselves to find information, because it says inform. So we're looking in a form to find information about the I, or the truth, if you want to say they're the same, or self. So that's why I've had a lot of difficulty in explaining this to anyone, because how can you explain it to someone who's not open enough to take away the thought or the belief for a moment that they may not be human?
Exactly.
And so I guess self-inquiry has to be the foundation of finding out who you are.
Yeah.
It has to come from who am I, or where am I?
Yes.
And then you have to, instead of looking at the outside for the knowledge or information, because as you said, that might just lead us to a street or down a path of beliefs and faith. But what do we know for sure? We know for sure that I exist.
Yes.
How do you know that? That's the question you have to ask yourself. How do I know that I exist?
Mm-hmm.
You can get beyond thought. You can get beyond your senses and figure out that you can get beyond that. So that I is still there. And I think that I want to go there where the truth is, but I have to look within for that answer.
Yeah, I is always the starting point. Everything's connected to I. Okay, you can't have anything unless I is. Okay, and I is the bottom foundation. It's the root of everything. So since you can't get outside I, you can never leave I. So is that, like you're saying, Paul, is I a human, or is I the I am that I am? Jesus had to ask that question. He came out with a conclusion called I and the Father are one. And when he was saying Father, he wasn't talking about no man with a beard. Okay? He was saying I and the truth, the absolute truth are one. And you have to go in. The mind, and this is where, psychology, because all of this is really psychology. It is about beliefs. What you think, what you feel, what you perceive. That's psychology. So you have to go in, because the mind wants you to go out. It says it's out there. There's a God out there. Well, Jesus supposedly said the kingdom of heaven is within. Right, Dr. Street? Yeah, right, so it's like, what do you mean within? Can it be located like in my heart, right where my liver is, where my esophagus is or whatever? No. Okay, it's not within a body. All right? It means that you give up this whole idea of outside and inside, over there and right here. That this thing called location is just really a trick of the mind to keep you, as Leonard said, go out there. Out there is where everything is. I got to go make some money. I got to have a relationship. I got to go over there. I got to go to Kroger, or whatever. Okay? No. All right, Raphael.
Yeah, Dr. Carter, the desire for human, there's no end as far as money, as far as sex, as far as status, fame, and everything. So I would say that human is agnostic. We're incapable of knowing God. We don't have the tools.
Okay.
Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I mean, a human cannot know God. The finite cannot know the infinite. Okay? Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have something you want to add on to that?
So it's mean that we have to come and open up our heart and surround ourselves into living in the now in a continuous basis on feeling good and doing good. And that's all it is.
Well, yeah. See, now you're asking. See, now and the infinite are one and the same.
Yeah.
Now is no. You can't limit now. Where is it not now?
But I would say, and it continues. The now is it's hard to identify what now is because what I'm saying now is already gone.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
because you
So
can't
it's-
capture
There's
it.
another now.
Yeah.
There's not,
So
there's
and
not
it,
time.
and it continues feeling good and doing good. And I was discussing this with Dr. Street, and she said, "Well, it depends on what happened. It depends on what happened because the mind will have so many traps to get you
Yeah.
say, hey, you're not going to feel good right now, or you're not feeling good,
Your
and
bill's
you're
not
going
paid.
through all this hell right now." So it means that we have to have some set of tools how to get back into the now and feeling good.
Yeah. Well, see.
I was going to say the feeling good
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the doing good, that's still a basis of the human.
Yeah.
It's still not infinite.
Right.
Because God is good,
Yeah, but not
but
good
not
as opposed
like
to
an
God bad.
evaluation or a
Yeah,
judgment.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's infinite. I'm saying that we need to accept that reality in us. That in order for us to be happy, to feel content, is a continuations of feeling good. And this is what brought me to Buddhism because they have method and practice. Method and practice to feel
But
good.
it's still method and practice as a human to try to get to that identity that God is. But it's still coming from human
no-
to try to get there, and you can't get there from human.
Yeah.
It's
See,
like there's nowhere to get
I
to.
understand what you are saying. But I'm saying that the real reality to me is, getting up in the morning and practice and methods.
But
and-
that's like, what is the me? When you say me, you're still referring to Raphael, this body. Raphael, this body, has all these practices that is going to get him to feel the infinite. And you can't go from here, the finite, to get to infinite.
So in order for me to be happy, I have to.
Well,
my
what
mind
if
be
it
happy.
isn't about trying to get to be happy? What if infinite is happiness?
and it's what you are.
It's who you are.
Yeah,
So
okay.
there's no place to get to.
Let me. Joan was next, and then Dr. Street.
Well, this discussion right here between Gloria and Raphael just brought me back to Archibald's positing earlier, where he says we've got to do a dual thing going here, and we've got to make a choice, as I see it, in terms of which one of these paths we are going to go down to discuss this, to try to talk about what is real. Because you're talking about the I, I am as a person and human being, individual, and then we're dual. It's a dual discussion we're having here.
Yeah.
And I think it's confusing to some of us because it clashes
Yeah.
with what we feel, which is because we normally to what to us is real is the personal,
Yes. Right.
you know. So we have different, because that's putting us into an alternate reality,
Yeah.
which we don't go into.
Yeah. See, what you got to realize as a human, you're always lying. I don't care who you are. Okay. I don't care if you're Jesus or Willie the Wino. Okay. Because you are in this, what you start off with something called I, meaning I, Alan Carter, I, Willie the Wino, or I, Barack Obama, or I, Donald Trump. We know he ain't human. Well, anyway, but yes, he is. Maybe too human. Okay. But anyway, seriously, that was a little joke there, y'all. I'm sure the Donald Trump supporters will probably, cast me in hell or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, the point though is, if you think, once you have a thought, it will be called I. All right? Because that thought is connected with an I that is identified as a human with a body in time and space. And then you have what we call this reality. This floor is real, Atlanta, Georgia, 2016, Barack Obama, whatever. Okay? All of that we call real because I think it and I have senses to support it. All right? And then I'll bring in some feelings that will say, oh, I don't like Donald Trump. Oh, I can't even say I like Donald Trump. But, whatever, okay? But, I will have some strong feelings, all right? And that I call real, all right? And then I have all these things that I was conditioned by my parents and my society. That, I am a black man. And, Jesus died for my sins or whatever. All these beliefs, and then I get be around a bunch of people who agree with me, and they will point to even a book that they said that God wrote, okay, that I say is real. And we don't question it, and that's why we are here to question. And Joan and Archibald are basically making a good point, and that is, yes, it gets confusing when we have be in the world but not of the world, and we get those seemingly two worlds, conflicted. Because the world on I-285 looks real. You run into a 18-wheeler, you say it's real, okay? Yes, I realize that. But again, I point to that in your dream, it seems real too, okay? When you are dreaming, when Archibald dreams of Beyonce, it seems real, okay? But we call it not real. We call it a dream. So yes, you have to realize that, whenever I think I have denied God. I don't care if I think of God, that ain't God. Because a thought is finite and you're trying to squeeze God, the infinite, into a finite concept. And that's what we do. That's what all religions do. Okay? And that's why they got a finite God. All right? And it's okay. I don't care. But the thing is, have you, like Joan said, have you excluded this other reality? It's not really other reality, the only reality, but the human mind can't go there. The human mind can't go there because it thinks. I think, therefore I am. Once you think, you now have cut God off. You have robbed God. Yeah, Gloria. Oh, I'm sorry, Ball. No, I meant Dr. Street, yeah.
Okay. As we were talking, well, I had one thought before when they were discussing, and I think that, like you said with Archibald, you have to know what basis you're coming from. As I was listening to Gloria, I understood what she said because we understand the reality. But we also understand that we all here, when we dialogue, we're coming from the basis of the I am. Basically, that's what we want our discussion to be. But we still delve into the human level because we got people watching. How do I get from where I am to just where you guys are, just to know to be? So I think the two discussions was dealing, one, with the final, that good is God, And then your good was the same good, but when you put feel in front of it, then she thought, oh, it's a feeling. No, I'm saying, I'm speaking, Raphael's speaking still from the I am, because we all here are the I am state. But for lack of the human vernacular, I think we put words together that kind of demotes what we're really trying to say, and that's why it's hard to have a discussion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I understand what you're saying. It's kind of like, would you put Hitler and Jesus in the same sentence?
No.
And most people say Jesus, well, he was. Some people say he's the son of God or whatever. Okay, and Hitler, most people would say it was evil.
Right.
All right. So if we could say, I use the example of going to Chattanooga. All right. Now, if you're going to Chattanooga, let's say Chattanooga is 100 miles away. All right, and let's say Hitler and Chattanooga representing God or heaven. Okay. So you could say Hitler is 100 miles away from Chattanooga, and maybe Jesus is a half a mile away from Chattanooga. You get what I'm saying? And so there appears to be, degrees, there appears to be distances, separation, that Hitler is above Jesus. I mean, Jesus is above Hitler. Okay, yeah, that was quite a slip, wasn't it? But anyway, but that Jesus is here and Hitler is there. Right. Okay, and everybody go, yeah. Okay, and so when you're talking to Hitler, you have to speak a certain language. Jesus was maybe speaking another language that was very close to this. And that's what I think probably happened. He was speaking a language that most of even his disciples didn't understand. Okay? And they had to bring it down into a level that was palatable to them. Quick, because we got less than a minute.
Kicking back, because the first thing I was going to talk about, when I look at a word, and I kept looking at the word real, whenever I look at a word and I try to see it more amplified, I usually break the word up. And what was amazing enough, when you have real, you do R-E, you put a hyphen, A-L. And so to me, you can say, the only thing that's real is are all.
Yeah, real, all. Yeah.
Or all.
Read,
and so now that brings us back to,
read
yes,
to all.
God is real because he is all, or all.
Yeah, read back to all.
There you go.
All meaning God. All right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. And,
that was
just simply peeling away, all this conditioning and beliefs that we have so that, what is kind of like when the clouds block the sun, all right? And you're moving the clouds out of the way so the sun can see it, so the sun can be seen, that is. And I just got the wind it up signal, okay? So we're going to stop right here, but we're going to continue to ask, what is real? What is true? And how do you know it's true? Keep asking that question. You tell me some more important questions to ask than that. Ask your pastor that. Ask your mama, your daddy, or whoever that. How do you know what is real and what is true, and can you prove it? The I is always there, so you got to ask, what is this I, or who am I?